welcome back. It has been a long time since I have recorded a podcast episode, and I'm doing things a little differently this time around. We are also going on YouTube, so you may be watching this on YouTube. And if you are, you see that I am in my car with a tiny pink microphone. And this is just going to be the vibe for right now. I hired a babysitter today for the first time in a long freaking time because I'm like, it's time for me to figure out my life, figure out some things that have to do with work, some of which I do want to talk to you guys about. But I'm so excited to dive back into podcasting and to really get into YouTube. There are a few different things that I want to explore on this platform. But yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. Mostly, I want to say hi. Um, Here we are again. It's been like probably over a year. I should look at the last time I uploaded a podcast episode. Definitely over a year because my second daughter is about to be one next month, which is wild. I had my second baby in February 2024. It's now January 2025. How did that happen? It's actually January 20th, 2025, as I sit here recording this. It is Inauguration Day. It is the day after or 2 days after all of the TikTok craziness. Life is really freaking weird right now for the entire country, the entire collective. It's very weird for me personally as well. And everything with TikTok is actually part of the reason that I'm so ready and excited to get back to filming for YouTube and recording for my podcast. One of the reasons that I wanted to dive back into this is because TikTok is my full-time income, and I have fully seen proof of how non guaranteed that is at this point. Nothing is guaranteed. You could have a full-time job. It's not guaranteed. I hate when people talk about like social media jobs as like, ooh, like, are you sure you want to do that? You know, it's not guaranteed to work out. Entrepreneurship's not guaranteed to work out. Like you could get laid off from your 9 to 5 tomorrow. That's not guaranteed to work out either. Granted, in that case, you could get like unemployment and government assistance and things like that, which is a little bit more difficult as an entrepreneur, as someone who does content creation, things like that. But nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised, and there are so many perks to this. I keep like pausing to make sure that my phone is still recording. I'm in such, you guys should see my setup. I'll take a picture and maybe I'll like put it on something for you on Substack or somewhere. But yeah. Anyway, okay, let's talk. Let's chat first. I don't even know where to freaking begin. Today, I just want to have it be kind of like a reintroduction, a like, how are we all doing? Let's catch up. Let's talk about all the things that are happening and also give you a glimpse into what my plan is moving forward with this podcast, with YouTube, with TikTok, with Instagram, Meta, all the things. So a TikTok ban, maybe I'll record like a fuller episode on my thoughts around the TikTok ban in general. I have been pretty vocal about why this is such a bad thing, not just because I make a full-time living on it. Like obviously that's a huge issue. It's one of the major issues with everything that's going on with TikTok is so many people make so much money on this app and so many people make a very normal amount of money on the app. There are so many women and men and just people who do TikTok shop and maybe make like $500 a month, maybe even make like $200 a month. And it's the difference between them being able to afford groceries and not in the economy that we live in. There are people like me who make a normal full-time living, right? I can help pay bills. I contribute to my household. There are people who make millions of dollars on TikTok, right? Like everyone is at different places and spaces, but it is keeping our economy running right now. And I hate the people who are like, oh, time to get a real job, because this is a real job. We live in a world where content is something that, oh, my tripod's falling over. We live in a world where content is something that people are taking in constantly and consistently, and there needs to be a lot of it created. And in order for quality content to be created, people need to have the time to create that content, which means they need to be compensated for it. Because if you had to work a 9 to 5 and then make content, which people do, right? It is very possible, but there's not time for them to create enough of it. And you're going to be exhausted and depleted, and people deserve to be paid for work that they do, and content is work. If it wasn't work, if it was so easy, everyone would do it. It takes a skill, it takes a talent, and it takes effort, right? It takes trying. I have been in this online space for, oh my gosh, over a decade, right? Like if you've been around a while, I'm not going to go into my whole spiel right now, but like I have been on social media making money since the Tumblr days, right? I think 2011 is when I started my Tumblr, and I used to sell like bracelets, long distance relationship bracelets, and that was my first little adventure into making money online. And ever since then, right, I've done network marketing, I have built a coaching business, I have worked for other coaches. I've created content. I've done brand deals. I am currently, most of my income comes from doing UGC, which is user generated content, which is essentially ads that you see. Like when you're scrolling TikTok, you might see a familiar face and it could be me. It's a lot like acting, right? They hire creators to make content either for apps or products, and I make an ad for those things. If you're watching me on YouTube, I do apologize if the lighting is getting weird. It is like 4:15 p.m. Let me see if I do this. Maybe that'll be better. It's like 4:15 p.m. I have my babysitter just until 5 o'clock. So I'm like, I wanna get this done. But yeah, it's a huge problem because of the economy. Listen to me on my tangent. I'm like, I won't even get into this, and then I get fully into it. But it's also a problem because of, what the Supreme Court hearing was about, which was our First Amendment rights. And um TikTok is not just, it's not just like frivolous social media. It's not this like trivial like little thing anymore. No social media is, right? But TikTok specifically, because the algorithm was such that you could say something and you knew that you were speaking to like hundreds of people, thousands of people, millions of people potentially, like immediately. And to me, banning TikTok is like banning people from meeting in town square, from having conversations with each other. And it is fully my belief that that is what they are afraid of, is us conversing and talking to each other. And yeah, I'm so drained by it that I don't even want to waste too much time getting too far into it today. I will record another episode on it if it still feels right. I feel like stuff moves so freaking fast too. And right now, with it being January 20th, TikTok went down 2 nights ago. It came back yesterday morning, like 14 hours later. Now we're just a day after that. Still don't fully know what's going on. Potentially, we have another 90 days at least of an extension, and then we see what goes on from there. So for me, that's why I'm here on this podcast, on this YouTube. I've been wanting to get back into like diversifying where I spend my time online and how I make money online for a long time. But the UGC on TikTok is a really good paying gig, and it takes up a decent amount of time, especially when I didn't have any childcare, having to do it like at nap times. And my youngest will not sleep anywhere but on me. She sleeps in our bed, she sleeps on my lap. So I don't really have a moment that I'm alone during the day until my husband gets home at night, and then I can record a quick few and then do it on the weekends. But I've made enough to now to where I can afford a babysitter. But the question is, will I continue making enough? Because are we still going to be here tomorrow, next week? Unclear. So I am taking advantage of the time that I have now to spread myself out. So you're going to find me on TikTok still. Until the lights go out, I will be on TikTok, even though the algorithm is a little suspicious. Things are a little weird. I'm still going to be creating content. And I'm going to tell you in a minute what my plan is for content on TikTok. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to niche down a little bit more. And then I'm going to be here on YouTube and the podcast. And I will have episodes of the podcast that go on YouTube like this, just of me chatting. For now, it's going to be me chatting here in the car, or in any location that I can find that's quiet, and sharing thoughts. This will be more of like for my people who are like, ooh, you like what I have to say, you want to hear more behind the scenes things, little less like niched down, but sometimes a little niched, right? And then I also want to do vlogs here on YouTube because I love my vlogging life. And hopefully, like once or twice a week, there will be YouTube videos slash podcasts up. I'm not going to put any set parameters on that for myself because I know that I work best just going with the flow and when I have the energy versus when I don't. And then I also am going to be big on Substack. So Substack is, if you haven't heard of it, or if you're just like, I've heard of it, I don't know what it is. I got on when everyone started talking about the TikTok ban. And to me, it's like a mix of Twitter and blogging. And also, you can go live and do live videos, and you can also post videos, and you can post photos, kind of like an Instagram sort of vibe. I think it's really great. I feel like it's very well organized, it's easy to navigate, and I'm excited to get into like blogging again, and actually writing. Because if my Tumblr days, I did a lot of writing. In my early days of Instagram, my like long form, long, like continued in caption style Instagram posts were my jam. And I love writing, and I'm excited to have that as a creative outlet again. So, okay, let me tell you what you're going to get from me, right? TikTok. It's time for me to niche down. I've been kind of doing everything, talking about everything, sharing everything, because I know there are certain people who like that from me, who like to see the business side, to see the self love, to see the family that I have now. Right? But that's not how you grow online. It's just not. And I've been needing to niche down for a long time now, but didn't really know how to do it, what I wanted to do, and suddenly it's become clear. So on TikTok, I will be sharing a lot of food related content. So, cooking, eating, mukbangs, sometimes like counting macros if I'm in a phase of that. I'll be bringing back some of my what I eat in a day and my plus size body videos. And I want to start a new series. I'm actually going to start it this week, of cooking from scratch, because I have a goal for this year for 2025 to cook one new thing from scratch every week. So I'm going to be like tracking that journey, making some videos. So yeah, it's going to be like food related, but also I'm going to blend in the self love, self growth, personal development, because I feel like that is when I have thrived the most on social media and in my own life. I like sharing my life is what helps me take action. And I know that I need to dive back into like my spirituality, my manifestation practices, my self love, my self worth, personal growth. And the best way that I can guarantee that I'm going to do that for myself is if I am teaching others, if I'm sharing with others. So, my plan is to have like voiceovers and lessons that kind of come into play with my food related videos. Not for every one of them. Some of it, it'll just be like me sharing a recipe that I've tried. But for some of it, you're going to get like a little boost of inspiration, a little self love lesson, a little like story of my own experiences when it comes to personal growth and all of those things. So that's the plan for TikTok, and I'm going to be sharing those also to YouTube Shorts. I will probably post them on Reels. Ugh, guys, I'm like anti Meta right now. I'm so annoyed with them, but I do actually have like a brand deal that I'm need to be posting on TikTok and Instagram coming up soon. And if TikTok is going to go away, Instagram is probably going to be the place that I can get brand deals the quickest. And I have to think about, my family and things like that. I I have so many thoughts about wanting to boycott Facebook and Instagram and just Meta in general. But for the time being, I will be back there, and we'll probably just be putting all of my like vertical short form content, so like TikTok style, on Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and then potentially Red Note. I am on Red Note, that Chinese app that we all kind of like migrated to, when they started talking about the TikTok ban seriously. I might post on there too, because why not? I already made an account. I already accepted all the terms and conditions. We're there. Might as well use it. And then, like I said, YouTube vlogs, behind the scenes, these conversations that I want to have like on YouTube and the podcast. I want some of them to be like self-love related and like the, lessons and things of that nature, personal development, manifestation, spirituality, my personal experiences, as well as just teaching some things. For those of you who don't know, I am a trainer of NLP, which is like the subconscious mind, and I have zero interest in coaching at this point in my life. I can't imagine ever wanting to do it again. Never say never, but I'm not at that point right now. But I'm like, I got to use this knowledge, right? So sharing some stuff about that, and more of like, this is where my people will come. Like I said before, if you're like, okay, I like Lily's vibe, I want to like hear more. Okay. This is going to be a little less niched down. It's going to be like we're, chatting with each other. I don't know if I'm going to keep my podcast as the Lily Nicole show, if I'm going to change it up. We'll see. We'll see. I have not arrived there at that plan yet, but we'll figure that out. And then Substack. So Substack, I want to like niche down alongside my TikTok style content. do some blogs, which will be very much so like the self-love centered blogs, maybe some recipes, maybe every TikTok recipe that I do for my from scratch series will also turn into a blog with like pictures and like an actual typed out recipe and some, thoughts about the experience of making it, if I would make it again, etc. What's cool about Substack is I haven't like played around with it too much yet, but there is a section of it that it can be monetized. Like I can have everything on my profile public except for like certain blogs can be behind a paywall. So it can be, $5 a month or whatever per month to have like specific content that I can be compensated for, which I think is really cool. I've also heard of someone who has a Substack and it's like really popular and you can read everything for free, but it's like if you want to comment, you have to pay like the monthly subscription fee. You have to be subscribed or a paid subscriber. And I just think that that's really cool. I feel like I love there being options. So I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet. As of right now, it's all going to be free as I find my footing. And I want a lot of my content there to like be accessible. But I think it's a really cool way to figure out how to, diversify, pay my bills. The hopes are to monetize YouTube as well, obviously, and then secure some brand deals along with continuing to do the UGC through the TikTok programs that I am a part of and all those things. So lots of plans in the works. This is all going to be a lot easier if TikTok sticks around for at least a couple more months so that I can have that steady income coming in so that I can pay the babysitter and I can come out and do all these things and record more ads. So fingers crossed with me. Please. I know most of us, if you're watching this and you're listening to this, I can't imagine you are rooting for the downfall of TikTok, but we'll take it day by day. We'll take it day by day. But yeah, so that is my little update. I'm hoping to record another episode on Friday. So right now it is Monday and I have the babysitter coming again on Friday. So hopefully between now and then I will get this up on YouTube and the podcast and we'll see what happens. And then I'll have something a little bit more like concrete for you on Friday. But I wanted to just get started. I wanted to dive in. I wanted to like figure out what it is, that I want to say and also just open the floodgates, right? Like, hello, welcome back. Here I am again. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being here. I am going to put all of my where to follow me on all of these places in the show notes of the podcast and in the description of the YouTube. I'm lilynicole.co on Instagram and TikTok. I couldn't get like the dot for a lot of things. So I'm either lilynicole.co, Lily Nicole, or Lily Nicole Wall in all of these places. Sorry for the confusion, but TikTok and Instagram always allowed periods in the usernames. It seems like none of these other sites do. So we're going to have to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, so thank you guys for being here. I have missed this connection so much, so I'm excited to get it started again. And I will talk to you so soon.